every time you're looking at your baby, you feel like you already know she has an expiry date. And every time you're just looking at her, you're just wondering, how is she? Is it today? Is it tomorrow? You don't know.
Pregnancy is an exciting time for many moms to be. It is a period filled with hopes and dreams, and for Ruth Wambui, it was no different. She had a stress-free pregnancy and eagerly awaited the birth of her angel. And on the 14th of February 2018, her princess Nayla Mirera was born.
Yes.
Soon after Nayla was born, Ruth noticed that all wasn't quite well.
She's a Valentine's baby. It was a very amazing moment when I gave birth to her, in as much as it was early, okay, in terms of my age, because I was 22, I gave birth to her. It was a very wonderful moment. I enjoyed and loved every single minute from when I held her in my arms. But at birth, she had some yellowing in the eyes. And asking the doctors why she has that yellow color in the eyes, the doctor said, no, it's okay. With time, it will clear up. So after we went home, after some few weeks, we went back to the hospital. You're supposed to go back to the hospital after 2 weeks for checkup. Went back to the hospital and we found out that she had jaundice. And the doctor still said, it's not that severe. Just expose her to sunlight, and with time the jaundice will clear. So we exposed her to light. After some time, the jaundice cleared.
When Nayla was 3 months old, Ruth noticed that her daughter was not achieving her milestones like other babies of the same age and was growing at a slower rate.
Nayla was not growing like other kids. She was always delayed with her milestones. Like, for example, at 3 months, a baby should sit down. Should be able to hold her head. Sorry, not sit down, but actually hold the head. And they can actually, step. They can step. Nayla couldn't do any. She was very weak, floppy, and she wasn't even increasing in her kilograms as much as other kids do.
Clinic visits showed that Nayla was only gaining weight in grams, but the doctors told her it was a normal occurrence. Not satisfied, they sought a second opinion. A pediatrician they saw when Nayla was 6 months old gave a rickets diagnosis. The baby was put on a 3-month cycle of medication to boost her vitamin D levels and also occupational therapy.
Around 6 months, we went to a pediatrician, and when she looked at Nayla, she diagnosed her with lack of enough vitamin D and rickets. That is basically rickets. So she told us we bought her drug called Abidec, and she told us to take that drug for 3 months, and after 3 months she'll be able to pick up and to expose her to sunlight. So I didn't even know that I'm supposed to expose her to light from day one. Some of these things you have to inquire to know. So we went home, did the Abidec for 3 months and exposed her to sunlight, but still it was not enough. So we went back to the hospital after the 3 months were over. Now we went back because we've boosted her vitamin D levels, her calcium levels. A test was done and it was proved that they were all okay, but still she's not growing as much as she's supposed to. So now the doctor told us that she would advise us to go see a neurologist and at the same time we should resume occupational therapy to strengthen her muscles. So we started occupational therapy at Nairobi Hospital, and it was really expensive. Occupational therapy at Nairobi Hospital, it's 4,000 a session, and we're being told that she needs 3 sessions every week. It was really expensive.
When Naila was 10 months old, Ruth and her husband went to see a neurologist, Dr. Oyati, and he asked them a very strange question.
The first time he saw us, he asked if me and the dad were related. I told him it's not possible because he's Luo, I'm Kikuyu, we can't be related. He said okay. He said he's going to take some blood samples for a gene mutation test that will go abroad, and we should get the results in 2-3 weeks time. Said it was okay. So he did the test and he told us to get the results after 3 weeks. But after the 3 weeks, we never went back for the results. We just assumed it because now we had already been told by different people that she has hypotonia, low muscle tone. She has mild CP, low muscle tone. So we came to a conclusion that it is low muscle tone, and with enough exercise, we were so sure will grow, and it wasn't a problem.
After months of visiting different doctors who gave different diagnoses, Naila was rushed to hospital on the 1st of March 2019 with high fevers that were not coming down.
On 1st of March, her fevers got really high. I came back home, she saw me, she smiled, so I thought, she's just pretending. So we stayed up to late hours, but it got worse with time. So at around 3 a.m. she started breathing like she's struggling. Her work of breathing had increased, and you could see her ribs when she was breathing, you could see her diaphragm, you could see everything, basically everything. You could tell she's struggling. So I told my sister, no, I've never seen Naila breathing like this. She said, this is how Naila breathes. Then we had gone to visit my sister in Langata. This is how Naila breathes. I know. I think we should go to the hospital. The maternal instincts never lie. So we rushed to Nairobi Hospital, since basically everything, we had an insurance done. So everything, her doctor was there, so Nairobi Hospital was appropriate for us.
After being admitted for a few days, Naila had a terrible choking incident. This prompted Ruth to have a candid conversation with the doctor, who asked her if she had done a gene mutation test. And luckily, the neurologist who had done the test before did it at Nairobi Hospital. On looking at the results, the doctor broke the devastating news.
Luckily, I did them from the same hospital, so they can easily access them in the system. Told them I did it in this hospital, so if you check around, you'll find the results. He did, and then the next day he told me, I asked him, did you get the result? He said yes. Is it in relation to what is happening to her? He said, the doctor didn't discuss anything with you. I told him no, doctor didn't talk to me, and at the same time we didn't bother to even ask the doctor what the results said. So he told me, your daughter, she has a very rare genetic disorder. What? It's called spinal muscular atrophy. It has 4 types, and type 1 is the most severe, and she has type 1. He tried to put it in a nutshell, and I remember the only words I can remember was him saying, enjoy the little time you have with your baby, because you never know what happens. I asked him, what do you mean you never know what happens? Does it mean that it has a lifespan? He said yes, it does. Babies with this kind of disorder, they don't get to 2 years. In fact, if it's more severe, like for the type 1, there's a strong type and a weak type. If it's a weak type, they don't get to 6 months. But if it's a strong type, like Nayla, they don't get to 2 years.
After this devastating information, Ruth had to undergo extensive training to be able to give baby Nayla the home care she needs. And she confesses it has not been an easy journey.
1st of April, went back to the ward. So the doctor told me for us to at least push on her or make her life easy for the remaining days, we have to put a tracheostomy for her and the feeding tube and fundoplications, but she doesn't get the refluxes. So we did that, and now we went back to the ward finally, and I was taught all the home care I need to do with her, everything I need to support her. I was literally taught how to be a nurse in 1 month, a nurse for my baby. It has not been easy. Every time you're looking at your baby, you feel like you already know she has an expiry date. And every time you're just looking at her, you're just wondering, how is she? Is it today? Is it tomorrow?
Taking care of baby Nayla hasn't been easy. Ruth takes us through her daily routine as the primary caregiver of Nayla, and also tells us the cost implications of keeping baby Nayla comfortable.
Nayla, we feed her through the peg tube, so we need to get her food, and it's not just, okay, it's the same food we eat, but it has to be balanced. If it's meat, there has to be meat, spinach, and rice, and then you blend it. It has to be balanced. If it's porridge, you have to put pedishua so that you can make it balanced. Pedishua is around 4,500. The humidifier, it's called a thermovent. It humidifies the air she breathes. If you don't put it, it's really dry. You can even feel her secretions get dry. And at the same time, if you don't put it, you risk her chances of getting infections. So one humidifier is 1,500. And if it gets secretions, you're supposed to change it. So because you won't always be there, and her secretions, they come up very fast, so you can find yourself using even 3 humidifiers a day. That is 1,500 times 3, 4,500 a day. We are not working. None of us is working anymore. We don't even have an insurance. Currently, we are living at my mother-in-law's place. We are so in a day you'll find yourself spending up to 10,000, and this is money that we don't even know how we survive, but somehow God has helped us.
When asked for her deepest heart's desires as Nayla's mother,
I am willing to do anything in my power as a mother to get her drugs, whatever she needs to get better. I mean, it's not too much for a mother to ask for, just to see your baby running after you, calling your name, being problematic, but you can see her doing everything by herself. It is not too much to ask for as a parent. Once again, to the president, we cannot give birth to kids only to be told that they will die. Because for SMA, the number one genetic disease that kills infants. They don't get 2 years. So again, to the president, to Ruto, to Sonko, to Pasaris, to anyone out there who can help us. We need help. We need to get an income, either for me or for the dad, at least so that we can, have our own house, have our own home, clear our bills, and maybe get the drug for our daughter.
So I brought them to my place. I'm appealing to whoever can assist Ruth and the husband. Maybe whoever can give the husband a job so they can sustain themselves, they can go back to their home. Whoever can assist Ruth and buy for her that drug, 12.5 million, 12.9 million. Whoever can help us clear the bill in hospital, 3.5, and sustaining Nella on a daily basis.